Cheers, everybody. Welcome to a video which I should have made 2 or 3 months ago, but I've never actually got round to doing it until now. I made a specific beeline to do these beers this weekend. I don't know when you're going to get this video up. We're off to Titanic Brewery. Now, a brewery for me which hasn't featured much on this channel, to be honest. I think at the most 2 or 3 times. Um, no specific reason why I haven't done many videos from them. And I think one was the Plum Porter, one was the Ice, which the Plum Porter I think I reviewed about 7 or 8 years ago. Then the Iceberg was done about 5 years ago. So it's about time we've done another, Titanic brewery video. A brewery founded in 1985. Now, a brewery which is one of them breweries which have a specific beer they're famous for, and it's their Plum Porter, which is, there you go, Plum Porter. Haven't had it since I last reviewed it, all them years ago. And it's kind of like you could say, yeah, specific beers for certain breweries are famous for, like you could say Fuller's with their London Pride, and maybe Timothy Taylor's with their Landlord. There's breweries out there which have a big beer in their arsenal, which everybody recognises that beer and recognises the brewery of that beer. And for me, Plum Porter is one of them. So I haven't had it since then, and I managed to pick up the Cherry Porter. Never had the Cherry Porter from Titanic, and I thought myself, the same ABV, they still call these a speciality porters. Let's compare the two and see what one I prefer. I don't think there's going to be a better beer out of these two. I just think it's going to be down to taste. So, first of all, let's go to the Plum Porter. This is what Titanic Brewery are famous for, their Plum Porter. 4.9% ABV. There's the backside. I shall read to you any information. It says, first brewed in 2011 as a one-off seasonal, a multi-award-winning Plum Porter has gone on to become a great defining speciality beer, beloved by drinkers both at home and in the pub. A well-rounded speciality porter with a sweet, fruity nose, notes of plum, of course, it has to be plum in there, classic hops. Now we got any hop information? No, I don't think I can see any hops. Oh, yes, we have. Malts are Maris Otter, Pearl, Wheat, Dark, Crystal, hops are Waimea, Pilgrim, Goldings, and Celia. Celia? Sorry. I've been watching Noel Edmonds doing his Kiwi adventures, and he lives by the Manito. I can't remember. It's the same as a New Zealand hop. I'm waffling on. Anyway, let's just crack this open. I can't pronounce hops properly sometimes. Do apologise. There is the Titanic Crown. Let's get a whiff from the neck. Oh, yeah. Slight, rich plum with a slight acidicness behind that. You really get the essence of plum out of that. So let's pour it out like you do. Hopefully do a decent pour. Oh, I've done a decent pour. I think these were both picked up at Bargain Booze. A shop I very rarely go into, but I saw them in the window. Yes, I had these in the window, and I thought myself, let's do them both. So stick that there. Be in a glass, as you can see. It's not jet black. There's a kind of burgundy shadow through it. Let's get a whiff. Yeah, deep, rich, slightly acidic plum. For me, I'm going to go in. Cheers. Front end, you get the bitterness straight off. And you get the hint of plum coming in with slight roastiness behind that. Going again. It is very, very hoppy. It's very, very hoppy. There's lots of bitterness there for me. With that nice hint of plum, roastiness. Full of flavour. Going again. It does feel rich. Mouthfeel slightly rough. Yeah, I mean, it's very unusual flavour for me. You know, some people might perceive it's not a very pleasant flavour. There's, I could see this being a divisive beer. The plums are there. There is a slight acidicness there, but it does taste, you know, it tastes different. You know, I think for me, when you see something plum porty, expecting it to be sweet, you know, and I think if you expect it to be sweet, it would feel more, they'll say, artificial adjunct like, but it doesn't. It feels like a purposeful beer, honestly brewed with plums. It does feel that way for me. I'm going again. As you go in and you start to get used to them flavours, yeah, very honest feel to the beer. It doesn't feel artificial or anything like that. So that's the plum porter. Stick that there. So let's bring the cherry porter over. Now, I think you'll have the same lineup of hops. Let's check the hops. We've got the Marisotta, Pearl, Wheat, Dark, Crystal, and we've got Waima, Pilgrim, Goldings, and Celia. Apologies again for that. It says a well-rounded fruity porter, hoppy with strong notes of Rainer cherries, red in colour with a sweet nose and a balanced finish, it says. So, yeah, let's just crack this open, see what we get. Never had the cherry porter before. Let's get with it. There's a lovely Titanic crown. Let's get with. Oh, that smells nice. There is a nice balance between the cherries and the roastiness for me in that. It does smell reminiscent of cherry tunes, but it smells not. It doesn't fit. It doesn't smell artificial like the plum. It doesn't smell artificial. It doesn't smell adjunct like. So let's pour this out like you do. Looking forward to this one. There you go. So before I carry on with this comparison, the result of this comparison, to be honest, is all down to if you prefer plums or cherry, I think. Before I carry on. So, beer in a glass, as you can see, it's got, I put it up there, it's got a burgundy shadow through it, off-white head. Let's get a whiff. More acidicness again on the aroma, a little bit like the plum with cherry. I'm going to go in. Cheers, everyone. Front end, the cherry rolls in straight away. Then the rest of the beer needs to hold that cherry, keep that cherry going. Let's get the roasty bitterness rolls in for me. Straight off, very dark, bitter, coffee-like, maybe even chocolate-like bottom to that beer. Mouthfeel smooth, refreshing. easy drinking, but very, very nice. Going again. Mm. Very easy drinking stuff. The one thing you say about both of these is very easy drinking. And yeah, the cherry for me doesn't dissipate in the flavour, it just keeps going. It's carrying that beer with slight roastiness behind it. Yeah, it's nice. It's really good. Interesting. This has got to be an interesting comparison. Let's bring the other one out. Let's bring the other one. So we've got the plum porter there. So let's compare the two now. So as you can see, I think I've got one's a nucleated glass. The other one isn't. Pretty up to light. As far as colour's concerned, it's exactly the same, and it would be. Okay, so it's all down to the aromas. So yeah, you get the plums. You get the plums, but you slightly get something else, like the skin as well, for me. You get very more, to me, it's more cherry on the aroma. Uh, the plums, it's more straight cherry on the aroma. You're not really getting straight plums. You're getting something else in there, which for me is not really doing it. You get slightly more hoppy presence than the plum for me. There's like something else behind it. One of the hops are giving you another whiff for me. At the moment, aroma test. What do I think? I think at the moment for me, cherry's more straightforward. Plum's a little bit more complicated. Anyway, let's go in with the flavour. So let's go in with the plum. That bitterness comes through. Got the plum, not just the plum itself, the skin of the plum too. It feels very natural. The flavouring feels natural. Starting to roastiness towards the back end. Nice feel. Let's go in with the cherry. Cheers. The cherry, nice note there. It's not really doing anything else but gives me cherry. It works with the rest of the beer. It certainly does. You know, you get the roastiness, slight coffee bitterness towards the back end. The mouthfeel exactly same as the plum. It works well. But when it comes to what I prefer, I knew the cherry porter would work. Okay? I knew the cherry porter would be great, and it is. It's great. If I had a choice, which one to pick up for me, the winner for me is the plum. And the reason why I've chosen the plum over the cherry is that it's producing other flavours apart from the plum. You get more hoppier feel to the beer with the plum. For me, the cherry does overtake the whole beer for me. It just takes over any hoppiness, any hoppy flavours. For me, the plum, yeah, you got the plum, but it also got other. You pick up the hops as well. And for me, it's some people might find that off-putting. You know, some people want a straight plum, full forward beer, but for me, it just brings in another element, another texture to the beer, what makes it different. And for me, that is the winner. So, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching this one. I've finally done it after all this time. So, the winner for me out of these two is the Plum Porter. It's still a great beer. It is, and it's a beer that Titanic Brewery should be very proud of. Not taking anything away from their cherry porter. The cherry porter's great. The thing what they both have in common is that the flavours do not feel artificial in them, and that's the main thing for me. Thank you so much for watching this one. Look after yourselves. See you all on another beer review. Bib bib.